I slept in a haunted village, ate with the Instagram celebrity, and faced border police. Here is the untold story. I entered Rajasthan from Shri Ganganagar after leaving Punjab. This was the first Indian state I would be cycling through on this journey. By the time I crossed into Rajasthan, it was already 5 pm, and honestly, I had no idea what to expect. I had never been to this state before, so I was unsure about how people would treat me. After riding about 30 minutes, suddenly I heard a voice from behind. Hello. It was a man on a bicycle, and he introduced himself as Raju Soni, a journalist from Punjab Kesari. When he found out that I was looking for a place to stay, he immediately offered to help. He took me to his friend's guest house, where I was not only found a safe place to sleep that night, but I also received home-cooked food from his house. A border side stay with a YouTuber. Next morning, I received an invitation on couch surfing from a YouTuber named Mantavir. Having a YouTube channel born on airport, he lived nearby Shri Ganganagar with his wife and a 2-year-old daughter. He was kind enough to host me at his home. Do you know the most exciting part into all this? His house was just 5 to 6 kilometers away from the India and Pakistan border. This was the closest I had ever been to the border of these two nations. Pushing towards Bikaner, searching for a shelter. After saying goodbye to Mantavir and his family on the next morning, I hit the road again. My goal was to reach Bikaner. I have already decided that I will be cycling close to the India and Pakistan border as much as possible. That day, by 7:30 pm, I was searching for a place to stay for that night. Locals, they suggested me that there is a Gurdwara in Suratgarh right in front of the bus stand, which is supposed to be somewhere around 2 kilometers away. I kept riding for 30 minutes but could not find it. Then I saw a young boy crossing the road. I stopped and asked him how far was the bus stand. His answer was 2 more kilometers. As I was about to leave, he asked, "Why do you need to go to the bus stand? Do you have to catch a bus?" And I told him, "No, I'm looking for a Gurdwara nearby so that I can go and stay there for the night." That's when he surprised me by saying, "If you don't mind staying in a PG room, I would love to host you. I am a traveler. I love traveling. I want to welcome you to my place. It is a little messy, but you are most welcome." I immediately accepted. This was a great chance to interact with the local students from Rajasthan. This boy, name is Ashok. He was preparing for a government job like millions of other Rajasthani teenagers. We walked to his PG, which was on the first floor. He gave me his bed and went downstairs to sleep with his friends. Such an incredible hospitality I observed. A unique dining experience. That night, I witnessed how Rajasthani people eat, and it was completely different from what I had seen in Punjab or Uttar Pradesh or Haryana. Here are my observations. Sweet first, not last. So in Punjab, in UP, and even in Haryana, we eat the sweet dish or the desserts at the end of the meal. But in Rajasthan, they start with the one. So I had churma made with the jaggery, roti, and lots of desi ghee in that. It was so rich and heavy that I already felt full. Not only this, there is a unique way of eating bread. So instead of tearing the roti piece by piece, they break the entire bundle of 5 or 6 rotis into the pieces, put them into the center of a plate or a thali, pour sabji, that means the vegetable curry, on the top, and then mash it with the hands and eat. It was so fascinating to watch. Drinking curd like water. The biggest surprise, they don't eat curd with a spoon like in Punjab or UP in Haryana. Instead, they pour it into a big bowl and drink it directly, and that's too at the end of the food. So they start with the sweet dish and finish with the curd. It was completely opposite to how I had grown up eating. The next morning, I bid a farewell to the host and continued my journey. My next stop was Loon-Karansar, a city which is famous for a salt lake, which is a rare sight in the middle of Rajasthan desert. That night, I stayed in a dharamshala paying just 100 rupee. It was my first ever experience of staying in a dharamshala, and I found it quite interesting. Arrival in Bikaner and a special host. So the next day around 2 pm I finally reached Bikaner. Here I was warmly welcomed by Mahesh Tiwari sir, a retired engineer from the government department. I got to know about him through Kulwant, a common friend of me and my friend Shankar Joshi. A spiritual detour कोलायत आप मेरे दिल के करीब रहेंगे हमेशा. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल ठीक है जी. थैंक यू सर. sir. Thank you. My next destination was Kolayat, a well-known religious site suggested by Kulwant and Mahesh Tiwari ji. Once again, I stayed there in a dharamshala paying 100 rupee, which was found through the locals. I also visited the Kolayat temple and ashram, which is a place with a unique spiritual story. So you can watch my video on my another YouTube channel, Cycling Beast. A town called Bab and a special stay. So next morning, I set off towards the city, which has an unusual name, Bab, which means father in English. With the help of Mahesh Tiwari ji, I found a shelter at an NGO which was run by Bhumraj brother. He is a very kind-hearted person who helps the poor by providing them the food and the medical treatment. आप NGO run करते हैं? That's good. अच्छा. Okay. The Birdman of India and the mystery of Khichan. Kulwant and Mahesh ji, they came to meet me here in this city named Khichan, K-H-E-E-C-H-A-N. This city is famous for its connection with the Birdman of India. So what happens, every year lakhs of migratory birds arrive here from Syria, Mongolia and other distant lands. And there is one man who has dedicated his life to ensure the safety of these migratory birds. सेवाराम जी का घर किस तरह?
मंगोलिया से अगस्त एंड में आती है और मार्च एंड में जाती है। इनके आने का टाइमिंग 12 सालों का तो मेरे पास इस पक्षियों का टाइम लिखा हुआ, कौन सी तारीख में बर्ड कब आई, कब खाना खाने में बैठी, कब इस तरीके का यह जाल था। इस तरीके से पूरे भरती थी। अभी ये पूरा जाल हटा दिया है। ये है विदेशों के पेपर सेवाराम वाले। ये जितने भी पेपर हैं ये पूरे फॉरेन के पेपर है। कुर्जा केवे किकर आऊं मैं थारे देश।
क्या लाइन है सर?
तो मिट जाएगा खींचन का नामो निशान, जिससे हाई कोर्ट ने सो मोटो संज्ञान लिया था। सो मोटो संज्ञान में 1182 बीघा जमीन और जितनी भी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी लाइन थी हाई कोर्ट ने जी हटाने का आदेश कर दिया।
लैंड करेंगे इस ग्राउंड में। ये इनका चूगा सेंटर है और एकदम मेरे सर के नजदीक, बहुत नजदीक। His story is deeply moving and I feel that everyone should visit Khichan whenever they visit Rajasthan. Apart from the birds, Khichan is also known for its old havelis, which are an architectural masterpiece. Sadly, they now stand abandoned with no one living in them. दोनों तरफ की गलियां देखो आप, जहाँ से निकलना वो जगह देखो आप। लाइफ इससे बेहतर कहाँ हो सकती है? An unexpected invitation and a new perspective of Rajasthan. One afternoon, I was cycling. I heard someone calling me from behind. It was a Muslim man. He invited me to his shop for a cup of tea. So when I was sitting and talking with him, he also introduced me to his friend named Latif, L-A-T-I-F. जब करेक्शन हुआ, भूकंप आ गया। किसी को बताया भी नहीं? नहीं, किसी को पता नहीं। होने के बाद में न्यूज आई थी कि आपका नाम क्या है? Our conversation stretched for almost 4 to 5 hours. When the night fell, they invited me to stay with them. That night, they made me have my dinner in the madrasa where the students learn Islam. So they live there and they learn Islam there in that madrasa. So that night I slept at Latif's home, an experience I will always cherish. Next morning, Latif took me to his farmhouse, and when I saw that farmhouse, my perception about Rajasthan changed completely. I always used to think that Rajasthan is all about the sand dunes and desert, but here in this part, which is known as Pokhran, where the nuclear test happened, this farm, it was lush green, filled with different crops. They even gave me a tour to the servants' quarter, showing me how the workers lived and worked on the farm.
तो अभी ऊपर फिर बांस या
लकड़ी बांस लेकर के गत्ते
डाल के उसे ऊपर फिर ये तो ये जो ऊपर घास डाली है ये कौन सी घास होती है? कुछ अलग तरह की बाजरे की
निकाल दिया और कुछ
बहुत अच्छे। वो पाइप जा रही जिससे सिंचाई होती है। पीछे से 2 खिड़कियां भी है ताकि गर्मी में आप खिड़की खोल के आराम से हवा ले सके। और वो सूरज उग रहा है, देखो। राम राम जी। हेलो। हाथ में हाथ दे, हाथ दे।
So before leaving, I got a chance to visit another farmhouse which was 30 kilometers away, where I witnessed the daily life of laborers working in the fields. A humbling experience.
पाकिस्तान का है,
अच्छा,
नजदीकी।
तो वहाँ घर है आपका?
हाँ,
बाका सर।
बाका सर बॉर्डर के पास। आप बाका सर से निकल जाना उधर।
होके जाऊँ बाका सर? कितनी दूर पड़ेगा सर?
नहीं, बाढ़ में से सीधा बाका सर निकल जाना।
तो मेरे को तो गुजरात जाना, रास्ते में है।
हाँ, फिर वहीं से गुजरात सीधा।
लो फिर क्या है, कटोरी है?
हम इधर मारवाड़ में,
इसको क्या बोलते हैं?
मारवाड़ में कहते हैं बटकी।
बटकी में चाय पी जा रही है आज, हाँ?
Reaching Jaisalmer and a beautiful stay with a hidden scam. That night, I arrived Jaisalmer, where I had arranged a stay through the couch surfing. So here is something interesting. So if you request for a host there in Jaisalmer, almost everyone accept it, but there is a catch. Almost all the hotels, they are registered on the couch surfing app. They run different haveli, the traditional mansions or the hotels, and while they offer you free stay, they also try to sell you a 3,000 rupee camel safari package. So the package includes a camel ride in the desert, night stay under the open sky, dinner and a authentic village experience. For an amount of 3,000 rupee, it was a great experience, but not for a budget traveler like me. Since I refused the package, the host changed my sleeping arrangement. And do you know the worst part? Because I refused to take that package of camel safari, so the host, he changed my sleeping arrangement. So instead of giving me a private place or private room to sleep, he made me sleep on the floor with the servants, where I was always concerned about my luggage and all. So the next day I asked for a proper room. They gave me the proper room on the chargeable basis. Of course that was a discounted price for a cyclist like me. But finally I could stay, rest and work on my laptop. But I would still call it a scam, as they lure the budget travelers with free stay only to pressurize them into the expensive packages. Exploring Jaisalmer and a final update. So during my stay in Jaisalmer, I visited the Jaisalmer fort, a stunning golden fortress, Kuldhara, the haunted village, a mysterious abundant village with array of stories. I stayed there for 3 days before moving on. Birdman city stay struggle. So that night I had a stay arrangement which was made by the same student from Suratgarh named Ashok, who had previously hosted me in his hostel. And let me tell you a very nice success story. So at that time when I met him in Suratgarh and stayed in his room, he was preparing for a government job exam. And you know now he is officially a government employee. Rajasthan has already given me countless unforgettable experiences, but my journey was far from over. So when I reached to Barmer, I truly understood a major social norm in Rajasthan, and this is the one which I frankly don't find very progressive. People here have a belief in government jobs. So cracking a government entrance exam is the ultimate career goal for most of the families. Parents, they push their children to secure a government job, considering it is the first and the only preference for a stable future. And do you know, when there is a boy who is into a government job, he gets lots of dowry. Dowry system is still there in Rajasthan. And because of this kind of a demand of government jobs, that city Suratgarh, it has hundreds of coaching centers where lots of students are preparing for the entrance of government exams. If I meet 100 students there in Rajasthan, so 100 out of 100 are preparing for different government job exams. It is that prevalent. A host family denies me stay. Ashok belongs to Barmaid. So when I reached Barmaid, Ashok wanted to host me at his home in his city. However, when I went his house, his brother and sister-in-law disapproved that stay. According to them, if I had left my job to travel, that means I'm wasting my life and I did not deserve to stay and provide the shelter like that in their home. Since they refused, Ashok arranged another stay option for me, and that was with his two different friends named Bharat and Avi. Somehow with some kind of arrangement, both of them made me stay into a under construction house, and before going to my bed, they took took me to a sand dune, which is called Dhore in local language, and there we had fun while running and jumping and enjoying the sunset. That day I saw another side of Rajasthan, one that was rigid in tradition and unwilling to accept unconventional life choices like I do. A silver lining, Bharat and a special stay. So the boy who initially offered me a stay felt bad about his family's reaction, but his friends, they turned out to be absolute jams.
क्या बात है, जैसे गुजरात से नर्मदा नहर आती है।
So one of them, Bharat, not only took me to visit a nearby temple complex which is known as Kiradu complex, but he also encouraged me to write about my journey on my bicycle, and this was the first time I got it written on my bicycle, Chandigarh to Australia, along with my channel name. A unique hostel stay in Chotin. So when I was about to leave from Barmer, Bharat gave me a surprising suggestion. He said that I have arranged your stay there in Chotin. When I arrived, I was shocked. That place where he arranged my stay was a hostel which was filled with the students preparing for government job exams. I stayed with them, experienced the hostel life, and I had a deep conversation with them about good and bad aspect of Rajasthani tradition and culture.
तो रमेश कैसे खाने वाले हैं जरा? और बाप रे इतना सारा घी है।
रोटी तोड़ने में आसान ही हूँ।
तो रमेश अब आपको बता रहे हैं कि खाना हम कैसे खाते हैं यहाँ बाड़मेर में।
हाँ, ऐसे रोटी तोड़ते हैं पहले।
अभी और भी घी डलेगा।
हाँ।
तो अब इसको हमने चूर लिया, तो अब इसमें सब्जी डाल देंगे, तो बस अब खा लेंगे इसको।
Next morning they took me to a temple which was 5 kilometers away and which had an incredible historical story. If you understand Hindi, so you can go and see the detailed video on my second channel, Cycling Beast. Deep-rooted traditions, marriage and caste. So another tradition which is deeply embedded in Rajasthani culture is the strict adherence to caste and religion in marriage. Marrying outside one's caste or a religion is unthinkable here. Not only that, but children are also engaged at a very young age, ensuring that they never have an opportunity to seek a partner outside their community. This practice is called Hagai in the common language and Sagai in Hindi, as you know, which means engagement.
तो रमेश अभी जाने वाले हैं एक शादी में, तो हगाई बचपन में हो चुकी थी। दुल्हन को घर लेके आ रहे हैं फेरे करके। तो मैं पूछ रहा था कि क्या सिस्टम होता है, क्या प्रोसेस होता है। तो जितना मैं समझ पाया उसके हिसाब से बताता हूँ। इन्होंने बोला कि सबसे पहले न्योता होता है। न्योता बोला था आपने? तो न्योते में लोग खाना खाने के लिए आते हैं और जितना उन्होंने दिया था उनके लड़के या लड़की की शादी में उसका डबल देना होता है। तो परिवार इकट्ठे हुए और फिर वहीं पे रिश्ता पक्का कर दिया। अच्छा तेरी लड़की है? हाँ मेरा लड़का है, तेरी लड़की, चल हगाई कर लेते हैं। हगाई कर लेते हैं।
इसने दांत बनाए।
Honestly, I found this aspect of Rajasthan quite backward. It felt like an attempt to preserve their identity, but in doing so, they are taking away the freedom of their children, generation after generation. Another unexpected stay near the Pakistan border. So next day, when I left that hostel and started riding, Bharat gave me another surprise in the form of another stay. This time, my stay was arranged in a village which was near the India and Pakistan border. It was hardly 3 kilometers from there. When I reached, I found myself surrounded by the locals. All of them were curious about why I was asking for someone in particular. Even I had no idea who I was about to meet. Later, it turned out that my host was a TikTok star and a famous Instagram celebrity. So here, this one man known as Bhanu Baba, he has millions of followers. So at first, I thought he might be an arrogant person because of all this popularity, but I was completely wrong. A humble experience with a social media star. Bhanu Baba turned out to be one of the humblest person I had met. His hospitality amazed me. So instead of showing off, he made me sit on the kitchen floor and served me a rare traditional dish which was freshly cooked by his wife. While she was making chapatis, he personally was serving me the food. I was blown away by this humility.
मेरे साथ है भानु बाबा, अंधेरे में आप चमके आप, ये हुई ना बात। तो ये आपने बताया कोमट की सब्जी।
हाँ कोमट, जैसे इलारिया बोलते हैं।
पहली बार टेस्ट करूंगा, नाम भी पहली बार सुना है मैंने। तो
पाकिस्तान की ये खाने में भी स्वादिष्ट है, प्लस इसका जो गुण है ना
जी,
शरीर के लिए बहुत ज्यादा गुणकारी चीज है।
अच्छा।
कुमट होती है, खेजड़ी की फली होती है,
हाँ।
बाकी यहाँ के कैर होते हैं।
हाँ।
ये बार तो विदेशों में तो 1000 रुपए किलो तक बिकते हैं, लेकिन अपने इंडिया में भी 300 से 400 रुपए किलो।
ओह माय गॉड, इसकी बात कर रहे हैं?
हाँ, इसकी बात कर।
वाह क्या बात है।
रोटी गरम को
नहीं, मेरे को तो ऐसे ही चलेगा जी, गरम करने की जरूरत तो नहीं है।
चूरमा बना देते ना।
अच्छा, ये अंधेरा इसलिए क्योंकि लाइट नहीं है आज हमारे यहाँ पे।
कुमट की कड्डी, इसमें भी यही डाला हुआ है, रायता बोलते हो आप।
तड़का लगाया हुआ है इसको। आज तो दावत है मेरी।
मेरी वाइफ ने बोला कि कुछ हरी सब्जी में, हरी नहीं, हरी सब्जी की डली खाते होंगे, आज ये बनाते हैं।
क्या बात है, बहुत अच्छा जी। चूरमा बन गया है।
रायता डाल देता हूँ।
इतनी जल्दी मैं नाम बोल के देखो।
हाँ।
नहीं, आपका नहीं, सब्जी का। आपका तो मैं कभी नहीं बोलने वाला। Hilaria.
A viral moment and the annoying side of fame. So the next morning he made a video with me and uploaded it at the same time, about which I was not aware of.
दोस्तों, मैं अब ऑस्ट्रेलिया जा रहा हूँ बाई साइकिल। देखते हैं क्या होता है। 1 मिनट। दोस्तों, मैं मजा कर रहा हूँ, वैसे मैं नहीं जा रहा हूँ। हमारे मित्र अमित जी त्यागी जी आए। अमित जी आइए। हेलो, नमस्कार जी। अमित जी आज हमारे इधर गेस्ट पधारे हैं। ये चंडीगढ़ से ऑस्ट्रेलिया साइकिल से सफर कर रहे हैं।
So within hours, my Facebook page Cycling Beast gained over 1,000 followers. However, I also got a taste of a downside of being famous. So the moment he uploaded that video, my journey became chaotic. As I cycled, people started stopping me, calling me from their houses, and clicking pictures with me. At first, I did not understand why this was happening. Later on, one of them told me that he saw my video and that is why he wanted me to stop and take a picture with him.
हम रास्ते मारे थे, आपको देखा था। वो एक और हमारे मित्रों स्टार है भानु बाबा।
हाँ।
वीडियो आया था तब आपको देखा। फिर
अच्छा, वीडियो आ गया।
हाँ, वीडियो आ गया। 2 घंटे पहले आया था ऑनलाइन।
By that time, I was already irritated by all the attention which I was getting because of that one video. A strange morning and entering to Gujarat. So next morning, something strange happened. So I decided to take a shortcut. It was just 13 kilometers to Gujarat. But what happened next? Well, that's a story in itself.
रोड ली थी मवाश्री वाली, उस रोड से मुझे वापस भेज दिया गया है। CID के कोई थे।
As I started riding on that shortcut road to enter to Gujarat, a man from behind came on a motorcycle. He was looking like any other civilian from that area. He stopped me and said, "You cannot go to this road." I was confused. Why? I asked, and his response, "It is not allowed. If you try to go through, I will have to take you to the police station." This kind of answer instantly irritated me. Why the hell would you take me to the police station? Go ahead, take me. I am an Indian citizen. What's the issue here? And to this answer, his only explanation was that outsiders were not allowed on that road.
उन्होंने बोला ये sensitive area है, outsiders are not allowed.
This made me feel more irritated and I said, "I'm an Indian. How can you call me outsider?" I argued. I saw the locals, they were traveling there on their motorcycles. I asked, "And what about the other local passing through? Why are you not stopping them? Why only me?" I don't know what was the reason, but he refused to answer, simply insisting that I should turn back. Frustrated, I rode back to the local market and shared this bizarre encounter with some locals. So that's when I finally understood what had happened. The locals told me that he is from intelligence and that road which I was taking, that road runs very close to the Pakistan border. So both the side of it, there are the army bunkers.
और देखा भी मैंने, दोनों तरफ bunkers बने हुए थे आर्मी के।
And that is why outsiders are not allowed to pass through that road because of the security reasons. And that's when it hit me. Those small scattered buildings which I noticed, those were the army bunkers. Suddenly, everything made sense. I understood the logic behind the restriction. But because of all this mess, now I had to take a detour of over 100 kilometers just to enter to Gujarat. But you know what? God is the ultimate planner. When I felt like a setback turned out to be a hidden blessing. And that blessing came in the form of food and a shelter. So it was 2 o'clock. I stopped at a roadside dhaba where I had bajre ki roti with the sabji, which was one of the most delicious food I had in Rajasthan. But the real surprise came when I went to pay the dhaba owner. He refused to take the money. He said, "You are a guest in my state, so how can I take payment from you?" That gesture of kindness touched my heart. And if you think that was impressive, just wait. What happened next will blow your mind. When I was passing through a village called Kundki, Kundki, a man standing by the roadside waved me down. He said, "I am a press reporter from G News. I would love to take an interview of you." Of course, I agreed. As we stood there and talking, a crowd of locals gathered around. Among that crowd, there was a person named Gora Prasad who warmly invited me to come and stay with him at his home. At that moment, I had no idea what I was about to witness, something truly unforgettable for the rest of my life. That night, they made me sit on the carpet on the floor with a small wooden table in front of me, which is known as chowki. And then to my surprise, Gora Prasad ji literally came with the water and washed my feet before serving the food. It was just like they do for the god and goddesses before they worship them. Except for a distant childhood memory from my village, I had never experienced anything like this in my whole life. That night, with love, they fed me so much of desi ghee, more than I had consumed in my entire 1 year. They even taught me how to make churma from bajre ki roti. I ate so much that night that I could not even sleep properly. For that night, they gave me a place to sleep on the first floor on a traditional charpai. The next morning, they would not let me leave early. Instead, they insisted me to visit a local school to interact with the students so that I can encourage them about protecting the nature and take up the cycling as a mode of transportation. And let me tell you, that experience was truly special. I demonstrated how I ride my bicycle, which has 27 gears.
गियर पे रखी है, देख रहे हैं आप? ये सबसे छोटा गियर है, बिल्कुल जोर नहीं लगेगा और साइकिल धीरे धीरे चलेगी। इस स्पीड पे ना तुम पहाड़ पे भी चढ़ सकते हो, जितनी मर्जी ऊंचाई पे चढ़ जाओ। फिर गियर थोड़ा बड़ा कर दो, ये देखो, अब पैडल थोड़ा धीरे लग रहा है लेकिन दूरी ज़्यादा तय कर रही है साइकिल, अब स्पीड बढ़ गई है, देख रहे हो? एक बार और गियर बड़ा कर दो तो और धीरे पैडल लगेंगे लेकिन स्पीड और बढ़ जाएगी।
The enthuse in those young eyes made me feel like I had truly made an impact on them. But soon it was the time to say them goodbye. That night I crossed the border and officially entered into Gujarat, making the end of my journey across Rajasthan. I left Rajasthan feeling enriched, enlightened, and with an even stronger faith on humanity. Your 100 rupee budget journey? Something interesting started in Rajasthan. I began to travel on a daily budget of 100 rupee. Did you notice that when I was staying with different people, so my dinner and my breakfast, it was covered by different people who had hosted me. So here I only had to spend on my lunch, and here in Rajasthan, most of the roadside dhaba, they provide unlimited lunch, unlimited meal in just 100 rupees. So that's how my 100 rupee per day travel budget began. One more interesting thing, so every place has a good side and the bad sides, but in Rajasthan I found that the good are far outweighs the bad. And do you know how much I spent during my entire stay in Rajasthan? It was only 2,250 rupees. That's all. This journey reinforced a belief in me. The more you travel, the more you learn. And I strongly recommend that everyone, especially the teenagers, they should travel as much as possible. Now, I would love to hear from you. What is your perspective on Rajasthan? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Currently on a break to buy a new bicycle before I resume my journey there in Meghalaya. So this is the best time to share the unseen parts of my journey from 400 plus days. So if you like this kind of stories of mine, then subscribe to the channel World Wanderer Cycling on a Budget and hit the bell icon so that you get the notifications first. It was a strange kind of a episode when I had to decide to take a break, so work, earn and upgrade. I'm giving the link of that video here. After this, go and watch. And those who have supported me on my journey, their names are given here. Please say them thanks on my behalf. That's all for now. Take care of yourself. We will meet soon with the story of Gujarat in the next video. Bye bye.